It's a thankless task.
It's a really hard job.
You take on an awful lot of responsibility.
I mean, I don't even know how they do it, actually.
I think you have to listen.
Make people feel validated.
That their view is important.
Who can reconcile differences among people.
But really have goals in mind.
Be very dedicated and have a very thick skin.
And be able to take a few knocks, because in shuls, not everybody agrees on the same thing all of the time.
Somebody that pretty much gets along with everyone in the shul.
You have to provide leadership without appearing to provide leadership.
But almost in a quiet way. Maybe by example they do it.
You're the point guy for everything good.
There are people that like you and they don't like you.
You're the point guy mainly for everything that doesn't work so good.
Commitment and dedication, just from the amount of work that they have to do.
The hours and the time it takes and the relationships that get built.
People with vision, but at the same time, loyal and faithful and accepting of the Das Torah.
All the past presidents did a phenomenal job in building the shul from the ground up, from scratch.
The guys that actually initiated and had the energy and the vision to start this place.
Nachshon ben Aminadab was the first individual who confronted the raging waters of the Yam Suf, and with courage entered into it, and the waters split. Ted Fishman is our Nachshon.
It was a little shocking the first day. My wife answers the phone to Rabbi Roden. He's going to have services in his house. He's a mile away. And I yell out to her from the den, and I said, I'll be there.
Take charge kind of person, and I suspect in the early days that was what was needed.
Ted is a very nice and honest person. He's very well liked. He's a very important part in the shul.
He was the president. He was basically the only member. The rabbi went away on vacation and gave him the key to the shul. And Ted said he would come every morning and daven there, even though he was the only one davening.
I have to owe it to Ted to talk me into coming into the shul to help with the minyan.
Making a minyan was always a big issue and was the key to the shul during my presidency as well. Either the rabbi or myself would go downstairs. There was a Persian rug dealer, and we'd go into his shop and we'd ask him to take a few moments and join us. And he'd finish doing whatever with a customer. He'd come up and we'd be able to do Kriyas Torah and Musaf.
Who wants to come to an Orthodox shul? Not me. But Ted was very insistent. Eventually I got hooked. The rabbi hooked me in, and Ted hooked me in.
They were going to have to be out of town, and it was Shabbos Hagadol. I got my Kitzur Shulchan Aruch out. I gave the sermon at the shul, and we went over all the halachas of Pesach.
Ted is a man of great integrity, whose sole purpose in life is his avodas Hashem. His constant challenges which occur never lets him get down.
Because of Ted Fishman, the shul energized itself year after year, year after year.
A synagogue is composed not of a board of directors or a rabbi. It's really composed of all the members of the congregation. Being involved allows your voice to be heard. It helps in the direction of the synagogue.
And I could say as Dallas's loss is Chicago's gain.
Michael Allen, a brilliant physicist who came to Ohev Shalom to learn more about Yiddishkeit.
He came into being a Jewish person joining the Reform Temple.
About the Union Haggadah, and I went through it and there were no plagues in there. The more I investigated, the more I was compelled, really, if I was to be honest, to Orthodox Judaism.
Then he joined Rabbi Roden. He did all the reading and he became a true Orthodox person.
And Ohev Shalom was there to support, counsel, rock-solid adherence to what was true, and at the same time, extreme empathy for the personal trials of a person going through that, and a family going through that, I think is absolutely unique.
We felt loved and accepted the moment we walked into the doors of Ohev Shalom. I'm going to cry. Don't put me in there crying.
What Michael brought to the shul was this concept of a love for learning, but not just learning superficially, but understanding, being involved.
That's what you did at Ohev Shalom. Ohev Shalom was a kind of community where we all felt like we were one. Maybe it's trite to say family, but it's also true. We were one community, we were one family, we did things together, and if something needs to be done, we did it.
Not only that, but a true mensch. Here is a young man that really is just a good person.
Michael has on numerous occasions taken people under his wing, those that other people might either shy away from or don't necessarily have the time for.
He was very instrumental in moving the shul from the storefront to the building that they're in now.
I think it's because Michael was able to go ahead and clearly see the issues that helped us make the decision that we did.
Well, many years ago, my wife and I came here from New York, and I'm not quite sure even today exactly what happened, but suddenly people were calling me the president of the shul.
Dr. Bernstein is a workaholic, tremendous work ethic, up at the crack of dawn.
When he goes out of town, I tell him when he comes back, this place just doesn't function without him.
There's usually nobody here by the time he gets here in the morning. He's usually setting things up and putting everything in order. He's very organized.
Opens up the doors early in the morning, sets the thermostat.
He's still the one that reads off what page we're on, even though we already know.
On Purim, he's got the flag,
Oh, yeah.
It's like when to cheer and when to...
When to cheer, when not to cheer, when to stop cheering.
He does so many things, that some of which you can see, some of which you don't see.
I was able to get together about 3 or 4 fellows who looked for a home of our own, which we did. The first Shabbos that we're getting ready, and actually I was vacuuming the floor, and there was a knock on the door, and I opened the door, and the fellow poked his head in and asked me if this was a shul, and I said yes.
Don Bernstein provide guidance in the build-out of the various phases. The building that we have today is a reflection of what Don was able to do.
Don Bernstein actually donated the very first dollar that was ever given to the yeshiva. Before we had a bank account, we had a check from Dr. Bernstein.
We're able to ourselves donate a Torah, and it was a thrill for both of us. That's something we'll cherish all our lives.
And I'm very proud of him, that he was one of the group that learned with Rabbi Kaufman, who finished the entire Talmud.
It's been a wonderful thing to be part of this institution.
Jackson possesses a very pleasant demeanor, Southern charm, and a Texas twang.
I'm working on my Texas accent, but Jackson certainly has a great warmth about him.
I don't think I've ever seen Jackson in a bad mood, and maybe if he was, you'd find a way to giggle with him about it.
I've never seen him in a bad mood, or he has a remarkable equanimity.
He's amazing. He gets things done. He's a warm, caring guy. Anything needs to happen, you pick up the phone and Jackson does it.
These talents and qualities earned for him the beloved moniker, Action Jackson.
Ivan asked me to be on the board, and somehow I must have missed a meeting somewhere because Ivan came to me after the meeting and said, "Jackson, you were elected president." And that was the start of my tenure.
He'd been in the shul, but he was very quiet. The only time you actually ever noticed him was when he got up to make announcements, and he would usually interlace a number of jokes.
Jackson was the president. It was one of the highlights of our week, hearing his jokes. And I remember at one point my dad had to start screening those jokes.
Larry Shaffron called me and said, "Jackson, I found some pews for the show. We're barreling down Central Expressway going south about 75 miles an hour." And I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "Buffalo." I looked back at him and I said, "That's halfway to Houston." He said, "Why do you think I'm driving so fast?"
He's amazing because he knows everybody. It's almost like he knows their phone numbers, like just off the top of his head, like, "Oh, let's give them a call," and, "Hey, you coming?"
About a year later, Larry calls me again and says, "I found some pews for the ladies section." I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "Grapevine." I was relieved. Not much happens at the show other than what Rabbi Roden does, what Ivan does, and people like Larry do. Rabbi Roden came to me and said, "Jackson, we're going to start a yeshiva." I said, "Where?" He said, "Here." And I said, "When?" He said, "Now." And before I knew it, Rabbi Pach was here, Rabbi Kaufman was here, the yeshiva was started.
So we literally worked hand in hand with him, working out the yeshiva and the shul together that we could coexist in this building.
Really, a lot of people did those things for me when I was a president. It's almost like it's a glamour position. It's only through the good efforts of people like that that OF Shalom has grown to become the kind of Torah center it is. And I'd like to say kol hakavod to all of those people, and thank you for letting me serve you for 5 years as the president.
First thing is, it was a miracle with Chanukah being with us right now that I became the president. My father-in-law told me, if you want enemies, become the president. So it wasn't a very difficult path to go on, because if you're standing by someone and someone's truthful, it was the most enjoyable thing. And I'm very good at delegating, so I don't take responsibility for the time that I was president for doing much. The people did.
Ivan is the consummate innovator and motivator. He transforms Torah lessons into practical actions.
He has an ability to see into a place that has not yet been discovered, but his enthusiasm will draw others with him.
Turns out that the house we bought was right across the street from Ivan. Life has not been the same ever since. He said, I need for you to get your car and come with me. He said, Lane, it doesn't matter what you've got to do. You don't tell a friend. No, you come with me.
Ivan's aura of exuding positivity. Whenever Ivan enters a room, whenever I meet Ivan, I feel elevated.
The survival guide to Pesach. I would drive to a house and Ivan would grab a copy of the book, and he would run up to the front door of the house and he would leave a copy of the book. And he and I became very good friends after that.
And Ivan has an incredible sense of humor. No matter what, he's one guy that really makes me laugh.
Someone whispered to me, you know, Ivan Sachs is joking when his lips are moving.
So I often call Ivan Israel because he epitomizes love of his fellow Jews, his love for Israel, his love for all human beings.
Ivan encourages us, who may not understand all things, but says, please join us, and gives us a chance to fill our hearts with a new value.
He's had to deal with so many personal challenges, and he's so positive.
He has a resilience that's just extraordinary. Ivan basically leads by example.
Ivan, in the face of adversity several times, prevailed. And what a lesson for all of us.
So I found Rabbi Roden, so wherever he went, I went. So I was like a little sheep, seeing how he developed a group of people that appreciated authenticity, sincerity. The rabbi was with me for most of my appointments through my 10 years of cancer. So the doctors learned a little bit of Gemara. When you're going to make a change or when you want to do something, go slowly. Don't rush, because it's not lasting, it's not enduring. So I went slowly. My love and appreciation for Hashem and understanding the ways of Hashem are the most peaceful part of my life. No mazel tovs. I would just say thank you, Hashem, for bringing us to this point. I would say she'echianu v'kimani v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Mazel tov on 30 years. It's amazing to see time fly by.
It really is an achievement that we're still here and seem to be actually in an acceleration phase.
We're able to maintain that attitude that all the different presidents have always maintained, the small, friendly family feel, but now with bursting at the seams synagogue.
Celebrating our 30th anniversary of Ohev Shalom, this shul has done tremendous strides and hopefully tremendous strides in the future.
We really, really appreciate everything that OHEV has done for us and everything that the presidents have done.
We came here 3 years ago, but we know it's been around for 30 years, and we are the recipients and the beneficiaries of all the hard work that's gone on.
It's nice to be part of the shul at this special time.
It's a great moment, definitely for me, my family, and I'm sure for the North Dallas community.
A wonderful milestone of 30 years as an opportunity for growth.
That we see so much more, that all the community sees their greatest dreams for the shul fulfilled.
It's awesome to see the growth, all the hard work that they've put in.
To my parents, mazel tovs to all the honorees. Couldn't have done it without everybody.
How lucky we are to have a kehila like this, so cohesive, where everybody is mishpacha.
I'm looking at the Hanukkah candles and how they're lit, and the charge that Aharon was given, where he had to light the candle and actually stay there to make sure the candle would rise. And I think about Rabbi Roden and his wife. They stay with the family. They try to show the beauty of Yiddishkeit to many, many people throughout the community, create relationships, staying close to a Jew and to further their growth and their personal relationship to Hashem. What they have done, and they put the foundation, God willing, for the next 30 years as well, that will continue to grow. And Yashikov to the father of his congregation, which is Rabbi Roden. Mazel tov.